Hello and welcome to this video. Today I'm going to be doing a stock analysis on Volkswagen. Now personally I like Volkswagen quite a lot because it pays out huge dividends, which I like quite a lot because personal dividends I just think they're quite nice to have in a portfolio. You need some stocks to give you value, some for growth and some for just stable dividends, and I hear Volkswagen is one of my favorites and I own quite a decent amount of them. Now recently, however, it hasn't been fun owning this stock. As you can see, it was trading all the way up in April 24, 130 euros almost, and then down here, down at almost 71, as you can see, 79, I mean. So yeah, quite poor recently, and their PE is quite decent. The PE on this is about 4, 3.5 or 4, I believe. So yeah, quite interesting. Now, as you can see, just over the stock, as you can see, it has been performing quite poorly and is quite volatile for a industrial stock. But that is also because, as you see here, their earnings has been quite poor these last times, and they are shutting down plants all over Germany quite a lot, which I'm not that big a fan of. Recently, it did come out they are gonna make plants where they are gonna use the old ones and sell them to Rheinmetall or lease them so they can produce shells for tanks. Getaway ads. As you can see also in the RSI, recently it did perform quite nicely in the RSI, trading in the upper channel for quite a while, ever since we're down at 79. But besides from that, once we hit this peak here, it has been quite much downhill ever since. As you can see, simply trading down, and we even had some pitfalls down here, and we also did see some spikes up here in the RSI trading over up here. Now, if you don't know what RSI is, if it's above 70, it is overbought. If it's above 50 but below 70, it is in the upper channel. If it's below 50 and above 30, it's in the lower channel, and if it's below 30, it is a oversold, which means chances are it's going to shoot right back up. So if it's trending down here in the lower channel, it's downwards, as you can see here. Once we trade from the top and down to here, as you can see, it is more down here than up here, and the other way around from down here to up here. As you can see, then it's trading more in the upper RSIs. That is a relative, it's called the relative strength index, and it is the relative strength for a stock at any given moment. Now, if we look at the stock's earnings, as I told you, it's quite poor, and I don't like it quite a lot. But we see next earnings in 31 days, and I just hope they're gonna be better. Now, the payout ratio on this is quite decent. As you can see, dividend yield is 9.3%, even though they make less money than anticipated, which I like quite a lot. So they do pay out nice dividends, and they pay them out 4 times a year, as you can see here in May, and then we have, no, I mean 1 time per year, as you see May here, and then we have May again here. Now, they did lower the dividends, but that only makes sense because, as you can see here, it was trading quite higher, and ever since then they had 3 poor earnings and a poor earnings before that, so it only makes sense that they are lowering their dividends. Now, annually, as you can see, their margins are quite poor, but then again, it is a car manufacturer, and those are rarely that great. So as you can see here, but they make a ton of money. Of course, everybody knows Volkswagen, and they own a lot of companies. They own Audi, they own Porsche, and all those other kind of brands. They own a ton. They own, I believe it is one of the biggest car manufacturers in the world. I actually believe they are the biggest in the car brands. They also own Lamborghini and Bugatti, so quite a lot of brands, also luxury brands. But now the margins for this is primarily just the Volkswagen itself, but just the Volkswagen brand owns a lot of other brands, which means that even if sales go down in Volkswagen, let's say more Audis are being sold, then they still make pretty much good money because they own the Audi and Lamborghini and so on and so forth brands. Now the performance of this lately hasn't been that amazing. I'm just gonna go back to 2015. So you can see over the past 10 years, as you can see, it's quite a coin flip whether it performs great or not. As you can see here, some years it tanks, as you can see, 35%, and then below that, and then again it rises almost 30% or below that. So it's not going to be the greatest or the worst investment you ever make, of course, but it is quite volatile, even though it is an industrial stock. Usually this trades quite low PE, and I think it's quite interesting at the moment. I think they are gonna return. I think we did see a bad 24 because of their, and 23 because they had the emission scandal where they paid, I don't know who it was, but there was something about their emission where they sold newer cars, electrical cars, before they were done, which meant the average emission for the cars were lower, which of course isn't great at all. So yeah, quite unfortunate, and I also believe that is one of the reasons this stock tanked so much. Damn, I can't speak today. Now in the technicals here, as you can see, for the day it's a sell. For the month it is also a sell. It's actually a strong sell over here in the moving averages. So yeah, at the moment, I wouldn't buy it at all. I would hold this, but then again, I am biased as I own some. But I like it quite a lot just for dividends, and I think it is historically cheap, and it's just such a large company, and I think they're going to perform great. Now, the entire automotive, no, not automotive, autonomous driving, they are not going to be the leader in that, but I think chances are it's still quite far away before in Europe we see anything like this at all, because some of the Europeans regulate so much, and I'm not sure about in the US as well. The only place I know it's decent is in China, but yeah, their own brands are so much better, and I do believe that it was BYD that came out and said they are willing to make other car manufacturers use their self-driving technology. So yeah, quite interesting. Now the analyst rating on this is quite decent. As you can see here, the average is 22% up. As you can see here, we have 12 strong buy, 2 buy, 9 hold, 0 sells, and 1 strong sell. Now, as you can see here, we have one that is minus 11%, which would be 86 euros. I don't know why it's not showing the graph at the moment. It's gonna come in any minute now. And as you can see, the best is 145. I think this is a bit too high. I think 120, 125 is a pretty decent estimate, to be honest. So yeah, that is at least my personal price target. Not that I'm gonna sell, but I'm just gonna keep. I'm just gonna buy if it goes over that. That's for sure. Now, as you can see here in their estimated earnings, a reason it also has been falling down is, of course, because they estimated lower and lower growth. And as you can see here in 24 and in 25, it is not that much above, but it was down from 21, 23, and then 24. But now they are increasing their estimates again. So I like that quite a lot, which is also the reason I am making this analysis, because I think if they perform nice on the next earnings and don't shoot up too high, even if we see them continuing to fall from where they are now, I might even pick up some more. So quite interesting at the moment. Now, if you did like my video on the Volkswagen, please don't forget to like and subscribe.